The story of Wasim Akram does not begin under the bright floodlights of international stadiums. It begins in the narrow streets of Lahore, Pakistan. A young boy with wild energy, a cricket bat too heavy for his small hands, and a dream far larger than the world around him. Wasim was not born into privilege. He was not the son of a famous cricketer, nor did he come from a family of wealth. His childhood was simple, sometimes even harsh. There were days when he had no proper kit, no professional shoes, no coach to guide him. What he had was raw passion, a burning desire that seemed almost impossible for anyone to ignore. In those dusty neighborhoods, kids played tape ball cricket for hours. That's where Wasim first began to bowl. At first, nobody noticed him. He was just another kid, trying to be part of the game. But every now and then, the ball in his hand would do something unusual. It would swing. It would move in the air like magic, making even the best street batsmen look helpless. But Wasim himself did not realize what gift he carried. He only knew that cricket made him feel alive. He played endlessly, sometimes missing meals, sometimes ignoring studies just to chase that dream which, back then, was nothing more than a whisper in his heart. Life was not easy. He faced rejection after rejection. When he went for trials at clubs, he was often overlooked. Too raw, too unpolished, too ordinary, that's what many thought of him. Imagine being a young boy with a gift, but the world refuses to see it. That was Wasim's early struggle. Yet destiny has a strange way of finding its chosen ones. In 1984, his life would change forever. At just 18 years of age, Wasim Akram walked into the trials at Gaddafi Stadium, Lahore. Among the selectors was Pakistan's cricketing hero, Jaif, and when Wasim bowled, my dad was stunned. The ball swung viciously, unnaturally, as if guided by the wind itself. For the first time, someone truly noticed the raw, untamed storm inside this boy. Wasim Akram was selected for Pakistan's national team, almost out of nowhere. A boy who had never played a single first-class match was suddenly wearing the green jersey of Pakistan. It was a miracle, but it was also a beginning of a story that would redefine fast bowling forever. This was not just cricket. This was the rise of a legend, born from struggle, powered by passion, and destined to inspire generations. Wasim Akram's international debut was like a storm nobody saw coming. In 1985, during his very first Test series against New Zealand, he destroyed the batting lineup with his sheer pace and swing. A young boy, barely out of his teens, bowled as if he had been crafted by nature itself to terrify batsmen. In just his second Test, he took 10 wickets. Suddenly, the cricketing world had a new name on its lips, Wasim Akram. But early success never guarantees an easy path. Wasim still had to learn discipline, consistency, and the art of controlling his natural gift. At times, his bowling was wild, unpredictable, like a storm with no direction. Yet, with every match, he grew sharper, hungrier, and more dangerous. His real breakthrough came in the 1992 Cricket World Cup. Pakistan had started poorly. Losses, criticism, and internal pressure weighed heavily on the team. Many had already written Pakistan off, but as the tournament progressed, something began to change. The team found its rhythm, and at the center of that transformation was Wasim Akram. In the semi-final against New Zealand, his fiery spell turned the match around. He bowled with venom, tearing through the opposition when it mattered most. But it was the 1992 World Cup final against England that carved his name into cricketing history forever. At the Melbourne Cricket Ground, in front of more than 87,000 spectators, Wasim Akram produced magic unlike anything seen before. Bowling with blistering pace, he delivered 2 unplayable balls in consecutive deliveries, first dismissing Alan Lamb with a vicious in-swinger, then Chris Lewis with an outswinger that bent like a dream. 2 balls, 2 wickets, and England's hopes shattered. Pakistan lifted the World Cup for the first time in history, and Wasim Akram was its brightest star. His match-winning spell earned him the title Man of the Match in the final, and from that day forward, he was no longer just a cricketer. He was the Sultan of Swing. That tournament transformed Wasim from a rising talent into a global icon. He was no longer the boy from Lahore's dusty streets. He was the man who carried a nation's pride, the hero whose name echoed across cricket fields worldwide. But behind the glory, there was also pain. Injuries would haunt him, criticism would follow him, and challenges of the field would test him. Yet, every time Wasim Akram rose higher, proving that greatness is not about never falling, it's about always rising again. Through the 1990s, Wasim Akram was unstoppable. He became the nightmare of batsmen all over the world. Tall, lean, with a piercing gaze and a smooth, rhythmic run, looked almost calm before unleashing absolute destruction with the ball. What made him different was his mastery of reverse swing. While most fast bowlers struggled to make the ball move in old conditions, Wasim could turn even an old, scuffed cricket ball into a weapon of mass destruction. Batsmen simply had no answer. With one delivery, the ball would bend into their pads. With the very next, it would dart away like a bullet. He was unpredictable, lethal, and mesmerizing. Wasim Akram didn't just dominate with the ball, he could bat too, often coming in at crucial moments. He played fearless knocks that saved Pakistan from collapse. Who can forget his blistering 257 not out against Zimbabwe, where he smashed 12 sixes, a record at that time for most sixes in a test innings. He was not just a bowler, he was a complete cricketer. But like every great journey, his career was filled with trials. Injuries haunted him. His body, which carried the burden of fast bowling for years, often broke down. He fought through pain, sometimes bowling with bandages, sometimes hiding his injuries from the world. Then came criticism. Whispers of match-fixing scandals surrounded Pakistan cricket in the late 90s, and Wasim's name was dragged into controversies. Though never proven guilty, the shadows of doubt followed him, testing his spirit and resilience. Yet, Wasim Akram remained a warrior. He led Pakistan as captain, taking the team to the 1999 World Cup final. Though Pakistan lost to Australia in a heartbreaking match, Wasim's leadership and fiery spells throughout the tournament reminded the world of his brilliance. He became the first bowler in ODI history to take 500 wickets, a milestone that cemented his legacy as one of the greatest of all time. Over 2 decades of cricket, he took more than 900 international wickets across formats, leaving behind a record that inspired generations. Off the field, tragedy struck. In 2009, Wasim's beloved wife, Huma, passed away suddenly. It was the most painful chapter of his life. The man who had conquered cricket fields was now shattered by personal loss. But once again, he showed resilience. He became both a father and mother to his children, raising them with strength and love. Wasim Akram's career was not just about wickets and records. It was about fighting battles on the field and off it. Every challenge shaped him into the legend the world came to admire. He was not just a cricketer. He was an example of how greatness is forged through struggle, sacrifice, and the will to rise again. When Wasim Akram finally walked away from international cricket in 2003, he left behind more than just numbers. Yes, his records were staggering. 502 ODI wickets, 414 test wickets, countless match-winning spells. But his true legacy was much deeper. He had changed the art of fast bowling forever. Before Wasim, swing bowling was known. But after Wasim, swing became an orchestra. He could make the ball talk. He could make it sing. Batsmen around the world said the same thing. Facing Wasim Akram was like standing in front of a storm. You never knew from which direction it would strike. Even the greatest batsmen Sachin Tendulkar, Brian Lara, Steve Waugh admitted that Wasim was one of the toughest bowlers they ever faced. His deliveries weren't just balls. They were puzzles, riddles that only he knew the answer to. But Wasim's impact went beyond the cricket pitch. For young cricketers, in Pakistan and across the world, he became a symbol of hope. Here was a boy who once played barefoot in Lahore's streets, who had no professional training, who faced rejection after rejection, and yet, he rose to become the Sultan of Swing. His journey told every child that greatness is possible, no matter where you start. Even after retirement, Wasim Akram continued to shape cricket. As a commentator, mentor, and coach, he guided young fast bowlers, especially in Pakistan, India, and franchise leagues around the world. His insights, his presence, and his aura inspired countless new players to pick up the ball and dream. But perhaps his most powerful legacy is resilience. Life tested him repeatedly: injuries, controversies, personal tragedy. And every single time Wasim rose, he stood tall, reminding the world that champions are not defined by how many times they win, but by how many times they refuse to be defeated. Today, Wasim Akram is more than a cricketing legend. He is a living lesson, a reminder that no dream is too big, no struggle too hard, and no obstacle too permanent. His story whispers to every dreamer: do not give up. The world may not notice you at first. You may face rejection, failure, and heartbreak. But if your passion burns strong enough, destiny itself will open doors you never imagined. The Sultan of Swing may have retired from the game, but his spirit still echoes in every cricket field, where a young boy or girl dares to dream. His journey is not just cricketed, his life, struggle, and victory, rolled into one. Wasim Akram's name will forever be etched in history, not just as Pakistan's greatest fast bowler, but as a legend whose story proves dreams are not limited by where you begin. They are defined by how far you are willing to go.